Okay, we're back with a new fitting. This time we're going to look at a flatback elbow. A little bit different than our standard round elbow, but got some similarities as well. The difference between this one is used in more of a blowpipe situation, where we want to bolt and unbolt and replace this heel section. So you imagine for a round elbow that's impossible. So we flatten this whole back so that we can put a flange on there and then bolt this heel section on. When we're thinking of blowpipe, that's the part that takes all the wear, right? The air is flowing through, all the particulate and debris is flowing right against that heel, wearing it out much quicker than any other part on the fitting. Now when we look at that one, there's not much to tell us what the shape of this is besides it's telling us here that it's a flatback. Okay? So on your shop drawing, or if you're giving one or making a shop drawing to someone, make sure that you give some indication of how this actually looks. Okay? If we didn't have this there, I mean, it's just a 6-inch round elbow. There's nothing different about it. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to increase the throat here, and we're going to make the let's go with a center line radius of 2.5 times. So we're going to make it pretty large throat, and again, that's to help with the blowpipe, with the material running through there to avoid clogs in it. So what are we thinking that shape is going to look like? Well, if it was round, but we flatten the back out, and this we're flipping this up, so we're looking through the end here in this view, and we're going to bolt it. So we want a flange there, and then this one's going to come out, and just like you'd think, it's going to be half of a circle. This end here is in the throat is going to be completely round elbow, but then it flattens out and it stays straight here. So from center, this section here is all straight. The one end of the throat here is all a standard round elbow. So our pattern's going to look obviously a little bit different, right? But we're going to take components of both. Same layout process, it's going to be parallel line, because there's no taper or anything in this one, and we don't want to put, we maybe could, but we're not going to put any taper in it. You're unlikely to see any flatback elbow that had taper to it. So that's our plan view. That's looking down on it, or the end view, if you wish. So that's going to help us out when we get to this one and draw that profile in there. Okay, so let's start out. Let's draw an elevation view of that end gore, and we'll start our pattern. Okay, so we got our end gore drawn out now. So again, it looks just like a round elbow from here. We have no indication of anything that's changed until we get to our profile, and we'll start that next. Now, we know from looking at the sketch, we know that this throat area is rounded and then it flattens out. Okay, so not too much to that one. So there's our drawing done. There's our elevation view. We're ready for a pattern view now. Now before we do that, before we get our pattern, we've got to calculate out a blank size. And knowing, let's just sketch the shape again. We got a half circumference here. Half circumference on this one side. And then we know that we're coming just flat here. Okay, and if it was 6 inches total here, we're coming 3 inches of flat here. So we got 3 inches here. We got 3 inches here. Now we can't wrap it around. Remember that back is going to be removable, so we can't wrap it around that side or anything like that. So let me establish that stretch out, going 3 inches, half circumference, 3 inches, and we'll have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so there's our stretch out. We got 3 inches here, 3 inches here, and we got a half circumference in here to get our shape here. Now, half circumference we usually use 12 divisions. So this one will be divided into 6 equal parts, not 12. So there we go, our stretch out's ready. We haven't done the height or the full blank size of the elbow, but you would just do that the same based off your seam height. But let's look at where we go with this pattern now. Now let's label, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 for our letters, or our numbers, excuse me. And then if we want, we can bring it off to 5 here. And that will take us all the way around the elbow. Okay, so let's start out. We've done our 3 inches straight, so we're starting out in the back here. So that's 0.5. Okay, because that's where I want the joint is. I'm going across here, around, and then back in. So 5 to 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we followed our number, we went around, and then it switched back and came back, and I ended back at 5 where I started. Now, it's just standard parallel line development now. We just either project, which we could do. For me, because the width of my piece here, I'm just going to pick up my points and drag and carry them across, transfer them in. Okay, there we go. There's our pattern. Now again, we know that between the 1 to 4 is our curved section, so we know that this is going to be a curved line here. And again, you're going to use a flexible ruler, not freehand like me. So there's our curved portion, and through the straight, it has to be straight. Because imagine there's no change here. It's not curving around like it is here. It's just flat. So what we see here is exactly what we're going to see in our pattern. And that's just a straight line. Okay, flat back elbow. If you wanted to go back, we could add on, if our blank size indicated we want that flange on the outside. We could have a flange here with some bolt holes in it if we wanted, which would be a 90, right? We'd bend that. We'd bend that flange around afterwards, but that could be our shape here. Okay? Flat back elbow.